York Knicks have officially been named as a trade destination for Mikal Bridges, as recent reports from Jake Fisher show that they have inquired multiple times about acquiring the Nets star, and we have to talk about this because it is officially real. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video as we always do, because now it is not just Josh Hart who has been interested in bringing Mikal Bridges to the New York Knicks, as Knicks president Leon Rose and co. have inquired multiple times about Mikal Bridges. And let's just take a look at it, because the Utah Jazz are said to be right in the mix with Houston and New York, four teams that are interested in Bridges. They are the three teams that continue to check in with Brooklyn about the availability of its 27-year-old swingman, the guy who's an elite corner three-point shooter, the elite defender in Mikal Bridges, a man who would fit this New York Knicks team perfectly, who went to college and won a championship with three of the New York Knicks in Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and Dante DiVincenzo. They're known friends. Mikal was one of the first ever guests on Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart's The Roommates Show podcast. He basically said the Knicks are better. He basically said he knows that the Knicks are New York's team and that they have the best fans. And Josh Hart has trolled him time and time again. Now, I've shown you guys those photos a million times. We're not going to waste time on it, of Josh Hart saying it's like the SpongeBob meme where Mikal Bridges is Squidward looking outside at SpongeBob and Patrick having fun, where the SpongeBob and Patrick are Josh, Dante, and Jalen in this analogy. We've seen him after the DiVincenzo signing where Josh Hart said, "Yo, Mikal, call me." All that stuff. We saw Mikal Bridges say that Josh Hart should come to the Nets, where Hart responded, "Are they holding you hostage? Blink and we'll come get you," meaning the New York Knicks. Well, the Knicks are trying, it appears. We know that the Nets have been like Fort Knox when it comes to Mikal Bridges. They don't want to trade him. Then they're admitting that they have nothing left and they have failed 100% as a franchise, which is true. It's true. But they don't want to give into it yet. They don't want to admit the Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving thing failed. They don't want to admit that they didn't get a star in return for Kevin Durant after Mikal Bridges went on to average 26 points per game for the Nets after he got traded there halfway through the season. So they're holding on to Bridges. They're insisting they want to contend, and it makes sense. They don't really have many options. They don't have their own picks. So trading Mikal, unless it is to the Houston Rockets, who have the third overall pick, which would have been the Nets had the Nets not made that James Harden trade, and way more of the Nets picks, it makes the most sense for the Nets to look to Houston as their trade option. However, the Knicks would be the team to give the most for Mikal Bridges. There was a time when apparently Houston offered the Nets some of their picks back, along with Jalen Green, for Mikal, because the Rockets were known to be contending and they didn't like that Jalen Green was underperforming. Well, then Jalen Green figured it out, has now been awesome for Houston, and is not getting traded. They now want to pair Green with Mikal Bridges. First of all, seamless fit on your wings, but also just shows the Nets have screwed this thing up, and now they're afraid of trading him now for less than they could have gotten. However, the New York Knicks, it still appears that many analysts think they'll be overpaying. Kevin O'Connor said, would the Nets be willing to trade Bridges to the Knicks to join his Nova buddies? Based on my conversations with people around the NBA, I believe so if the Knicks are willing to overpay, but Bridges would be worth it. And speaking of people from the Ringer who believe in that, none other than the head of it, Bill Simmons, said, I think Bridges is who they want, meaning the Knicks. I think they'll overpay. So both the people from the Ringer, now obviously Bill Simmons is a Celtics fan, this is a Boston-based thing, but they're not going to lie. Bill Simmons literally said a week before RJ got traded for OG, and Darielle made a video on it, where it's like, yeah, I don't see why they don't just trade RJ Barrett and like a first rounder for OG Anunoby. Well, it wasn't exactly that trade. Instead, it was RJ and Emmanuel quickly for OG Anunoby. And the Knicks, they could have gotten something better using Emmanuel quickly and a ton of draft picks, which is one of the reasons why I think there is no shot that OG Anunoby is going anywhere. But also, I do just genuinely believe the Knicks would want to pair Mikal Bridges with OG. They want to form that elite wing defensive duo. Now, Mikal had a down season defensively because he was supposed to be their lead scorer on the Nets. Now, Cam Thomas averaged the most points and Mikal right after him. But the Nets even said, like, I think it was Spencer Dinwiddie was like, yeah, we were bothered because there was no real plan on offense. There was nothing actually going on. They were asking different people to run the offense constantly. There wasn't a set offense. The Nets were just going in there, basically treating it like a pickup game, and that's why they were the 11th seed. They had enough talent to not be terrible, but they had no real plan behind their matter. Well, now they have a new coach in Jordi Fernandez, who coaches Canada's national team, and maybe they want to go to contend. Or maybe not. And maybe they know the Knicks will still overpay for Mikal Bridges, even despite the fact that Mikal, it's kind of clear that he isn't going to become a star, but the Knicks don't need a star. They don't even need an all-star. Mikal fits. Great role player. Very, very good NBA player. In a way, we're calling him a role player is almost like offensive. Because Mikal, he's a role player, but he's one of the best role players in the NBA. He's almost a little too good to be called that. He can be the third best player on a championship team. And I think he would be if he went to the Knicks. I think that if the Knicks got him, they would win the NBA Finals if they kept Anunoby. If they were able to keep Hartenstein. Maybe if they could even keep Mitch also. I think they would win the NBA Finals if they stay healthy. Jalen Brunson is a superstar. Julius Randle is an all-NBA player. You have an excellent wing defensive duo. You have an elite bench unit still with Dante DiVincenzo getting moved to that six-man role, solving all your problems for their bench with the lack of shot creation. Right there, boom, problem solved. Easy. Mikal still shoots excellently from three. Let's take a look at Mikal's stats. He's putting up nearly 20 points per game, which would obviously go down with the Knicks the same way that Bojan Bogdanovic's points went down. With 4 rebounds and 3.5 assists per game, he's stealing 1 ball per game. That would go up. He's led the league in steals in the past, but he had to kind of take off on defense, being more of the offensive focus for the Nets this season. He's 27 years old, 6'6", perfect size for a Knicks small forward spot. Shoots 40% on corner threes, which is huge. The Knicks love the corner three shot. They were 9th this year in it, and clearly they want to get better at it with bringing in OG Anunoby and having Dante DiVincenzo. Shoots a lot of threes, a lot of catch-and-shoot shots. He doesn't need the ball to score. He shoots 37% from deep, but I think it would go up with the Knicks because he gets more open shots. Same as that field goal percentage, but you're less worried about the field goal as much as the three-point. Still, 37 is very solid. That's what OG shoots, and we're happy with that. So it's not like the biggest deal in the world. And just for comparison, these are OG Anunoby's numbers. Very similar to what you would want from Mikal Bridges on the New York Knicks. You just get 2 of them. You get OG Anunoby, you get Mikal Bridges. You got 2 monster defenders on your team, 26 and 27 years old, fitting the timeline for the team perfectly. I think it is a seamless fit. Now, this is a trade that I cooked up. And I also have one more thing to show you because there's a little bit more. This was not supposed to come up yet, but I am going to talk about it right now anyway because this video is running long. Look, Bojan Bogdanovic and Deuce McBride. Bojan fills the contract thing. Deuce fills the rest of it. Also, Deuce, you get a young player in return who's a good defender. You can stick next to Cam Thomas as your starting 2-guard. That works beautifully. You also get the Pistons pick. You get the Wizards pick. You get the Knicks' own right to swap in 2026 with some protection that could maybe get you a 2027 pick. You get a second rounder. You get a Knicks pick this year. You get a haul. You get 5 first-rounders, a young player in Deuce who's on a favorable contract. You get a tradable contract in Bojan, who started his career with the Nets, can go back, put up 16 points per game, shoot 40% from 3. Boom. You're getting a late first, a protected first, a nice young player, the way that the Pistons did from the Knicks when you trade Bojan at the deadline if you're the Nets. Look, do you have your own picks? No, but it does give you something to start with. And the Knicks, they'll certainly overpay, especially in some situations, because there's always the chance that the Nets want to make a move for that pick, for that late first. And I'm not saying that that's the whole thing there, but they want that late first. They really like Antonio Reeves. And also, there's been some noise that the Knicks would be willing to trade and make an overpay for Mikal, especially if they lose OG in free agency, who obviously I made a little post about it, not a whole video. I can't make a whole video about OG opting out of his deal. We all knew that was happening. OG opted out of that $19.9 million. Knicks are supposed to pay him. We're going to see what happens. Big night coming up tomorrow. Two days from now. Sorry. And we're going to be here for all of it. So make sure to subscribe to Knicks Digest. We're going to get on that live stream. We're going to break it down. Might try to get some guests on, call in or something. We'll figure it out. But guys, you don't want to miss it. Make sure to subscribe to Knicks Digest. Like this video. Subscribe for more. We're not stopping all summer. Have a phenomenal night, y'all. Yeah, this is a nightly Knicks time. Go Knicks, baby.